Hello everyone, welcome to the first of a three-part series on Waterton Lakes National Park, where we explore stunning landscapes and fall colors on our visit last September. In this part, we'll start by exploring the charming town of Waterton nestled within the park, and later we'll hike through breathtaking mountain scenery on our way to Bertha Lake. Waterton Lakes National Park is located on the southern border of Alberta, Canada. Established in 1895, it is part of the Waterton Glacial International Peace Park, which includes the U.S.-administered Glacier National Park in Montana. The park features rugged mountains, pristine lakes, and lush forests, and the town of Waterton conveniently offers accommodations and dining options, making it a popular destination for outdoor enthusiasts who prefer a soft bed at night. After driving into town and checking into our hotel, we took a moment to stretch our legs and get our bearings. Okay guys, there's a room for two nights?
Yeah, 2 nights.
2 nights, and then we switch rooms. We are happy with this one. Has a fireplace, but I don't think we're gonna need it. I hope not, anyway. Not a bad view out the window. So I can even see our car. And then we got
The
a
whole universe, if you want.
moon, the whole universe. Holy crap! Yeah, you can get up close and personal. Anyway, bathroom. So that's it, guys. We're checked in for a couple days. I guess I should do this too. They give you cookies. Some cookies. And this guy looks like something I'll try. Alpine Berry Whole Leaf Hibiscus Tea. Caffeine free. Sounds like a good evening thing. So we just got to Waterton. And we're looking for the Park Visitor Center. Gonna check out, see if, well, we got a couple trails in mind. We want to just make sure there's no bears or anything like that, because there's a few trails around here that have been closed because of that. So just want to go there and get some updates. We found the Park Visitor Center and some souvenirs as well. The center was well organized, providing a comprehensive overview of the park. However, when I asked the staff for a trail report to ensure it had not been closed, they seemed disengaged and unfriendly. When I asked about recent bear sightings for the area we intended to go into, the staff responded as if it were a silly question. Given the importance for public safety, I found this unprofessional and concerning. The sad thing was that a U.S. Park Ranger had come up for the day from Glacier National Park and had set up a booth, and he gave us a hell of a lot more information on the bears in the area than these guys had. They had some excellent interactive maps, such as this one illustrating drainage patterns from mountain peaks into rivers and lakes, as well as providing a comprehensive overview of the trail network and public access points. After that, it was time to walk around and explore the town a bit. Waterton serves as a gateway to the park and offers a blend of natural beauty and small-town charm. The town is surrounded by stunning views of the mountains, Waterton Lake, and the iconic Prince of Wales Hotel stands as the town's most prominent landmark. We ended our day by having dinner at a lakeside restaurant. The food was fantastic, and Lakeview, with the ferry boat bringing passengers back from Glacier National Park, was a beautiful sight. After dinner, we took a stroll along Waterton's lake shore before heading back to the hotel for the night. It turned out to be a rewarding decision. Along the way, we discovered Parks Canada's iconic red chairs, perfectly positioned to take in the stunning vistas. We also found the beautiful Cameron Falls on the western edge of town. The next morning, we woke up early to begin our mountain hike. After packing our gear, we made our way through a quiet town to Bertha Lake Trailhead.
I hold this thing. Okay.
Hold it the other way. You should just restart it, flip it around. Hold it like the other way.
It's alright, I think it'll work this time. Okay, it's about 9:30 or
9:30.
7:30. 7:30 in the morning, about the crack of dawn. And we're going to Bertha Lakes Trail. And so far the weather's pretty good. Depending on who you look at, they're saying either 30% or no rains, so that's going to be later in the afternoon, so I think we're good. I can hear one of the waterfalls along this trail, but obviously we're not at the trailhead yet. Hopefully about 15 minutes. And yeah, time to start.
While walking through the RV camping section, we encountered some young mule deer who were making some squeaky calls. They were two young ones calling out to their mom to let them know where they were. After walking a little over a kilometer, we found the trailhead.
So basically, walk up to Bertha Lake. Don't think we're going to go around the lake. We'll come back. We may try the boundary trail there, if there's time. If not, we'll do it tomorrow. And with that, we begin.
Check the trailheads. There are no warnings.
There are no warnings. Good. Let's go. Well, we have a warning here. So we have the bear spray. And we're not camping.
Probably the best example of a enter at your own risk sign, I'd have to say. But very important. Make sure people understand that you're not walking in a city park here. So far, the trail is very nice. If it continues like this, it'll be a good day.
The start was very rewarding, and even though the area experienced a forest fire in 2017, we were still able to enjoy the fall colors and breathtaking views at every turn. The Bertha Lake Trail is a challenging 15-kilometer loop featuring steep sections, especially as you near the lake itself. In fact, on our way down, we came across some high school students halfway up the trail who looked like they were ready to call it a day.
Oh my god. It's edible, but it's very, very sour.
Guess I'll show people what they look like. So that's what they are. Not really sure what kind of berries these are. Hopefully Dawn hasn't killed herself. Microphone on now.
It was tasty, but... in the middle of my video, I'm gonna microphone on.
I was later informed by Donna that they are Oregon grapes. They are edible, but known to be quite tart and bitter. And judging by the bear scat we found along the trail, eating too many may also give you the shits. Getting our bearings, we continued along the trail.
I was wondering if I should try another one.
No, let's just make sure you keep standing.
You don't want to put all your knowledge to use and make a travois and drag me back.
Well, We have a spot tracker. I think I'll be hitting SOS. Letting the helicopter people come.
As we continued along, we began to hike through an area that had experienced the forest fire. Known as the Kinau Fire, it burned roughly 19,000 hectares of park forest and at one point threatened the town. The impact on the ecosystem was significant. However, since then, efforts have been made to help the area recover.
You want me beside it for
Well, yeah, you're scaling pretty good already.
I believe this is a metamorphic rock called gneiss, although I'm not entirely sure. I should mention that if you want to enjoy hiking here in the fall season, you need to come fairly early. We arrived around the second week of September, and by the following weekend, many restaurants, hotels, and campgrounds were closed for the winter. The park itself remains open year-round, but it's essential that you do your research and check the park's official website for potential challenges. Bertha Falls is located about halfway along the trail, where the water cascades down a rugged, rocky cliff fed by the lake above. It was a great spot to pause for a moment and enjoy the surroundings. Our rest was crucial, as the trail would become quite steep from this point onward up to the lake. It is a challenging hike up to Bertha Lake, so be sure you're well rested and ready for the day when you begin.
So guys, we've had a pretty flat trip so far, hike. So it's about to get higher. So I think it's kind of telling us that we're going to be going up some hills here. Which makes sense because we're going to the lake. A little tricky getting through this stuff. Just hoping there's no bears or anything. It's pretty thick through here. I'm making lots of noise.
Yeah, I think it's a relative of the giant hogweed.
Yeah, it's
But
huge.
It's not invasive like the giant hogweed is. I think it's just kind of like called great hogweed, I think.
After we rested for a moment, we came upon a dusky grouse, who did not seem very interested in moving off the path for us.
You gonna let us by? Yeah, we gotta go by. Hey, you're gonna just stay there. I guess you're just gonna stay there. Oh, you're so tame. My goodness. Such a tame bird.
I would choose this kind of animal encounter over a bear any day. After that pretty amazing wildlife experience, we continued up a very steep trail section.
I haven't met anyone on this trail yet.
So about an hour ago, that was our trail. That was when it was easy and flat.
The trail then became much steeper, with numerous switchbacks as we continued our ascent. But finally, as we neared the lake, the land began to flatten out.
So, geocodes or something for maybe some box hidden nearby. No.
After a pretty rewarding hike, we reached Bertha Lake. The views were absolutely stunning, and we took a moment to soak it all in. Bertha Lake is a beautiful example of a glacial lake, surrounded by steep, rugged mountains, and it certainly made the challenging hike to this alpine environment worthwhile. After taking in the surroundings, we continued by crossing the outflow that feeds the falls that we had seen earlier. Here are some shots of the outflow section that feeds the falls that we'd just seen below. While there, we explored the nearby backcountry camping sites as we had originally intended to spend a night or two up here. Okay, so backcountry campsites. So we're gonna go in here. I think this is the trail. And just check out a couple of these. So this is the first one. And these are pretty nice. Very cozy. So this is pretty wooded back here, but yeah, one other site there. And then, yeah, if you have the need, there's a biff over here. Which is fairly substantial by the looks of it. Apparently, the funny thing about it is that when I looked at this was completely booked. And there's no one here. We have not passed anybody on the trail. So what the score is, I don't know. There's another one. We're actually looking for the bear pole to hang our food. And we haven't found that yet. So here's another, we're walking into another site. Which is pretty cool. Very nice. It doesn't look like anybody's been here for a while. Yeah, I'd say we had some cancellations. It was a bit of a mystery as we saw no recent evidence of camping in the area. Nonetheless, we went in search of a spot to have our lunch. Is he saying yo, bear?
No, he's saying like come through, come around.
Imagine camping up here and waking up to this breathtaking view. It's a reminder of the rewards that await those who venture off the beaten path. Just noticing here that the lake gets deep very quickly. And cold, I would imagine. But not for this guy who came along to see what we were up to. A nice tranquil scene. So yeah, we found a little place to have lunch. Seen a guy there walking on the other side of the trail. It's going to be 4 kilometers to go all the way around this lake.
However, we decided to start back towards the trailhead now. It's getting colder. It is definitely getting cloudier, and it feels a bit moist as well. So we're going to get off this mountain before it starts raining, and we need to start using hiking poles and stuff. Otherwise, a very beautiful spot to have lunch.
Your fishing lure worked.
Yeah, maybe that's what he was after, my bee. Yeah, we just seen a fish in the water too, but yeah, it's getting very cold and it's getting very cloudy. So it's time to get out of here, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I can't even see the mountain across the way.
No.
Anyway,
So there it is, guys. There's the rain.
it's on its way.
Pausing at Bertha Falls for a moment, we found the hike down to be a bit of a challenge as we navigated the slippery trails.
Okay, guys.
Got my hood up. Got the cover on.
It is raining. So we are getting off the mountain.
Despite the rain, we were energized and appreciated the scent of wet earth and vegetation. It was a reminder that nature is unpredictable, but that is part of the adventure. As we returned to town, we were glad to get out of the rain, but we were filled with satisfaction as it had been a very enjoyable hike.
It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going down a trail that's on the map called Trail Number 21. It hooks up to the same trail that goes up to the Bertha Lake there. It's about a 4 kilometer from, well, probably 6 kilometer total. It's supposed to follow the lake for the most part. So it's a fairly flat trail, which is something we're definitely in the mood for today. It's said that you take a portion of it into Montana. So you go over the border, go along the line there, the border line in the Montana side, and then you come back in and you can choose a few trails that take you back into Waterton. So we'll see if this is true. I'm a little skeptical that we can just walk into Montana so easy, but it'll be a highlight if we can. We'll see.
At the time this video was recorded, the atmosphere between Canada and the United States was more friendly, with both countries enjoying a period of positive relations. It is sad that these dynamics have shifted over such a short period of time, but we hope you enjoy this glimpse into a moment when collaboration and friendship were at the forefront, and we hope for a resolution soon. After a while, we reached a junction where Trail 11 meets 21. Checking the trail sign to confirm our direction, we continued on. As you see, the trail does have varying topography along the way, which initially takes us through a burn section from a forest fire that occurred in 2017, which I mentioned in the previous video. We found this rock fascinating with its many cracks. It may be part of the park's sedimentary formations such as mudstone or shale. This ball-shaped rock was also interesting. At a glance, it looked like a volcanic bomb, but more research would be needed to confirm that theory. I was intrigued by what Donna was filming, and the dew on the leaves caught my attention, prompting me to stop and capture it as well. After that, we came upon one of our first stream crossings, but we soon discovered that all the crossings were dry during this visit.
Sturdy. It's terrible. adorable.
The bridge was well built, and so were the spider webs, confirming that we were the first ones on the trail. We also came across a backcountry campsite along the trail called Bertha Bay, a beautiful location. As we continued, we encountered a challenging section that required careful route finding along a rocky face, testing our footing and determination to proceed. We found that hiking poles were ineffective due to the steep terrain and loose rocks, but we made it through this tough spot and conquered this challenging section.
Okay, guys, we're about halfway along here. And as you can see, it's pretty rocky. But really wooded at this point. The forest fire from a few years back didn't get too close to this part.
This rough grouse was determined not only to stay on the trail, but to also strut his stuff.
Oh, you're gonna get lots of chicks like that.
I'm becoming very fond of these birds. Every time we're on the mountains in Alberta, we seem to meet up, and it's always a memorable experience. After that, we reached a beautiful viewpoint, which provided a perfect opportunity to rest and admire the stunning scenery of the water framed by majestic mountains. We then spotted a Parks Canada crew heading out, possibly for trail maintenance, as the sound of chainsaws filled the bay later on. Continuing on, we crossed another manageable stream. There was a lot of boat traffic on the lake that day, including this tour boat. This squirrel would later turn out to be quite territorial over its food stash on our way back. After navigating the terrain, we reached the Montana border. If you look at the mountains on the other side, you can see the borderline cut into the forest.
So guys, if you've never seen one of these before, this is what it looks like between Canada and the United States. So right now, I'm standing on the Canadian side, and I'm about to go over into the States. Looks like this Karen's getting a little tired. Anyway, it should say the United States, and I can prove that by walking over to this one that Donna's leaning on. So you can see on that side of it, it says United States. So this is the U.S. kind of warning you that not walk any further. I'm gonna walk past the brown sign there and see what happens.
I'm gonna film it.
So that's the trail continuing on. We're in Montana now, like yards into Montana. And yeah, so I'll just go back there and show you guys that if you want to continue walking along here, you need to let them know. So don't assume you can just keep walking. So yeah, there's some information just to give you guys an idea. So it's not a free ride. Oh, and by the way, there's no cell signal out here. We are, however,
Gonna have our lunch on this beautiful US built boat dock. To give you an idea how far we're in, just to sensationalize the situation. Just gonna slowly turn around, and there is the marker there. So, not far in.
After taking a break and enjoying our lunch, Donna decided to clean up this US beach.
When's the last time you saw a drink with a full cup? Like a real full cup.
Jeez. Very long time ago.
Doesn't look that old, but
Yeah. Well, you did something for the States. A thank you for allowing us to eat here for a bit. Oh, and the gum. Oh, you're going all out. Okay, guys, some video evidence to show that I'm actually returning back to Canada. And thank you very much, United States, for letting us have lunch on your dock. Goodbye, Montana. So yeah, we're back on the trail here heading towards Waterton. And that was kind of fun sitting there at the States a bit. I was just thinking earlier, that's probably the shortest amount I've ever gone into the States. I've spent a lot of time in the States, coming through back and forth. So that's probably a record for me. That was fun, a lot of fun.
We then encountered a mischievous squirrel that decided to drop pine cones on us to protect its mushroom.
what? Okay, I'm getting out of here.
As we continued, we noticed bear marks on several trees along the trail, which were on the opposite side from the direction we came in.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah, there's a lot of pushed down
Yeah,
vegetation there.
yeah. Noticing a bit of a clearing here. No signs of fur or anything.
This is definitely somebody's turf.
After confirming the presence of bears in the area, we proceeded carefully, as we had seen no other people along the trail.
So guys, coming back this way, going back towards town, we're just noticing all the bear scratching. Just one tree after another. And just to prove it here, I'll show the other side. So yeah, as you come up on this side, there is some scratching in there, but for some reason they're all facing the other way. Yeah, here's another example. We just walked probably 20 meters down the trail. And there's another one. And if you look back at the same tree, there's nothing on this side.
So, something to keep in mind as you come up the trail from the town side. Yes, there are bears in the area, and it is important to look behind you occasionally on the trail. Unfortunately, our timing was off in regards to seeing these marks. As we returned to the same shoreline, we spotted some common mergansers. After resting beside a large rock along the trail, we continued into the area affected by the forest fire. The tree trunks had become so weathered and polished that they gleamed in the light, giving them a silvery finish.
They're really kind of pretty. Those have this silvery sheen to them.
Then it was back to the cliff section, which proved to be no easier to navigate on the way down. This is a good view of what we had to deal with, so for this section, I would say the trail is not suitable for all skill levels as rated. Conquering the cliff zone, we made our way back to the beach at the lakeshore near town. Our day began with an early breakfast at a local cafe, preparing us for a full day ahead. If I remember right, it was a spinach omelet sandwich type of thing. It was good. The forecast promised sunshine, although it would later turn a bit windy. In this video, we'll drive into the mountains and stop at Cameron Lake, embarking on a hike up to Summit Lake. Along the way, we'll also encounter a group of bighorn sheep grazing near the road's cliff edge. After our hike, we'll come back into town and enjoy a memorable dinner at the iconic Prince of Wales Hotel, where we'll explore this amazing place and experience its rustic charm and panoramic views. As we wrap up our adventure in Waterton Lakes, we'll visit the park's bison paddock, which is set against a stunning mountain backdrop and offers a fantastic opportunity to see a bison herd up close. While driving along the Akamina Parkway towards Cameron Lake, Donna spotted a group of bighorn sheep grazing near the cliff edge, and we pulled over to take a look. At this point, we hadn't seen much wildlife in the park aside from the grouse along the hiking trails, so it was exciting to observe these guys. I'm always amazed how these animals navigate the rocky cliffs with little effort. This group consisted of 2 females and a younger one that appeared to be about half their size. Typically, bighorn sheep take about 4 to 6 years to reach full size, so this young one was likely around 2 to 3 years old. We didn't spot any rams, possibly because it was September, which is the early stages of the breeding season, which typically occurs in fall. During this time, rams tend to be more cautious and less visible as they prepare for the rut, often retreating into more rugged or less accessible areas. We arrived at Cameron Lake, a glacier-fed water body surrounded by the Rocky Mountains. The hiking trails in the area are considered challenging due to the mountain terrain, but the views are well worth the effort. So it's the last day. Full day. So kind of a one-off. We weren't really planning to do any trails today, but we're gonna walk this one as far as we feel fit, and we'll show you everything we see along the way. We took the Carthew Alderson Trail, shown as Trail 27 on this map, with Summit Lake as our turnaround point for a total round trip of about 9 kilometers. The full length of the trail is approximately 20 kilometers, taking you all the way back to the town of Waterton. Unfortunately, with so many places to explore, we didn't have time to complete the entire trail. Okay, well there's our first bear marking. Pretty low, that one. So probably a black bear.
but it's old. You can see it's been done a while ago.
Looking at the footage later, I'm not entirely sure this mark was made by a bear. It could have also been left by an ungulate rubbing its horns against it, or some other cause. The only way to know for sure would be to return and check, which I would not mind doing. As we continued, the trail ascended through a series of switchbacks and areas affected by the forest fire in 2017. However, as you can see, vegetation is beginning to reclaim the landscape.
Back over there at the tip of the lake is where the Montana border is. We are going up to, I think, I'll have to look at it later. I think it's called Summit Lake. It's about 4 kilometer walk, so it's not too far. The trails are actually deceivingly easy so far. So that's good, because I did not bring my hiking poles today, because we were not really expecting to do any real heavy hike. So let's see how it goes.
If you look closely, you can spot the parking area where our hike began. While I mentioned the trail was not difficult, it can be steep and narrow within the switchback sections. As you can see, a fall here would be quite serious, so it's essential you stay alert and watch your footing.
Make a good washboard. Long way to haul your laundry though.
These rocks appear to be sandstone, formed in environments where sediment is deposited by water or wind, likely dating back to the late Cretaceous period, around 70 to 80 million years ago.
It is fuzzy plant.
As we ascend, the striking contrast between the resilient landscape recovering from the fire damage and the vibrant blue skies with clouds drifting by was truly impressive. This erratic boulder was likely transported from its original location during the last ice age and appears to have come from a sedimentary formation, which would link it to the previous sedimentary rocks we encountered on the trail.
He was trying to get at whoever lives in the hole.
Okay, guys, we are
Okay, guys.
just heading into Summit Lake here. It's pretty flat, as you can see.
It's over there.
It's that way, yeah, it's that way, so I'll just turn a bit. So just for my reference, mainly for my own video knowledge, when I do this video up, we peaked at 1,950 meters, according to Osmond. So yeah, we're gonna go down there, have a quick snack, look around, and then come back. Donna lounging by Summit Lake with her improvised chair. Apparently it's quite comfortable. Not sure. After our lunch, we made our way back down to Cameron Lake. The descent was easier and allowed us to notice details we had missed earlier, such as this tiny spring. Fortunately, the wind had remained calm for most of the day, but as we neared Cameron Lake, it picked up significantly, creating a seed storm.
I'm getting stuck on my nose.
Finding shelter in the trees, we made our way back. In the burned section, you can see some deep ravines now exposed. The fire's after effects could increase erosion and deepen these ravines. However, as vegetation regrows, the soil should stabilize and reduce further erosion, though this process will take time. On our way back to town, we encountered a group of ruffed grouse nervously crossing the road, and we had to intervene to prevent a driver from hitting them.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ, idiot.
It was a tense moment, and it underscored the importance of being vigilant for wildlife when you're in the park. After that, we walked up to the park's iconic Prince of Wales Hotel. This historic hotel, perched on a hilltop, offers stunning views of Waterton Lake and the surrounding mountains. Built in 1927, it's the only Grand Railway hotel constructed by a company in the United States, and was designed to attract U.S. tourists during a time when alcohol was banned in the U.S., known as the Prohibition era. The U.S. owner named the hotel after the Prince of Wales, in an overly obvious attempt to entice him to stay during his 1927 Canadian tour. However, the Prince blew him off and stayed at his own Alberta ranch instead. If you look at the center, you'll see a jagged mountain peak known as Citadel Mountain in Glacier National Park. And this is Vimy Peak, right across the lake. It was time to escape the wind and head inside to explore the hotel's lobby, which features rustic charm and inviting seating areas, a welcome relief after the gusts outside. The hotel showcases Swiss chalet architectural elements, evident in its timber-framed lobby with hand-carved posts and beams. The hotel also has a gift shop offering a variety of local souvenirs to help you remember your time in Waterton Lakes or your visit to the hotel. We discovered that the Royal Stewart Dining Hall wasn't quite open yet, so we decided to relax in the lounge, enjoying a drink in the ambience of this historic hotel. The Windsor Lounge was created in 1960 and replaced the original Maple Leaf Lounge that was in the north section of the hotel dining room. The Maple Leaf had large windows for viewing the mountains, however they were permanently closed to prevent passers-by on the hotel driveway from seeing the drinking patrons. The frustration of not having a beautiful view was overcome when the Windsor was strategically placed in the east wing of the hotel to prevent public visibility from the drop-off area. And it was time to go to the restaurant.
Is that going to take a picture of both of you together?
Sure.
It's practically part of the job. It's not a lot. We do pictures all the time.
Come on, you guys. You could have got a little closer.
The Royal Stewart offers a good menu featuring thoughtfully crafted and innovative meals. One dish, inspired by the past forest fire, beautifully showcased both the destruction caused by the fire and the regrowth and recovery of the landscape. And when we saw the desserts on offer, we simply could not resist. As we prepared to leave the park the next morning, we made one last stop at the bison paddock. With the mountains as a backdrop, this was a great opportunity to see these large animals up close. Parks Canada reintroduced bison to the paddock in 2021, bringing in 6 Plains bison from Elk Island National Park. These bison had been relocated from the park in September 2017 due to the wildfire and could only be reintroduced once the prairie grasses had sufficiently regrown. I will also take a moment to point out that based on previous comments I have received, that bison were not historically limited to the United States. They also roamed across Canada and Mexico. They were a vital resource for many indigenous people, providing food, clothing, and materials for shelter long before there was ever a Canada, Mexico, or even a United States. I decided to go up the hill where Donna was and see if there was a better vantage point, and yeah, there was some good shots up here as well. Such as this young bull attempting to challenge one of the alphas, but he wasn't getting very far. Basically just seeing what he could get away with. That wraps up our adventure in Waterton Lakes National Park. We hope you enjoyed this journey with us and it inspires you to get out there and explore.